how to create an event on the website that's specific to the list of upcoming events for MailChimp. Clearly here, this type of event that we're listing is one that people can buy and attend. So let's start here. I want to go to the details of this event so that I see the details. Ultimately, I want the readers of the newsletter to get to this page. And this is because it includes the details of the event. All of the information is listed here. And of course, it also has the sign-up form. So I want that information. And to get that information, I want to copy the page's name, the URL. So I click on it. It highlights the whole area. I can right-click and say copy. Whatever technique you used to get that address, go ahead and get it, because the next thing we want to do is we want to add it in as an event. So I go over to the news page. I scroll down the page. Again, I'm logged in, so you see all of the controls. And there's a section at the bottom of the page here called Upcoming Events. And that's where we'll have a list of events. This will mirror what is in the upcoming events on MailChimp. So at this point, I'm going to add a new article. It's the same process, because it's the same program, as adding a news story. But in this case, it's a special news story because it has a date and time associated with it. Not the publication date and time, but the event date and time. So I click on Add Article, and that opens up this window. January 14th was the date. It's important that we put the date there for a moment. You'll see why. And then Jan meeting and whatever the topic is, which I don't remember. So I'll just put something there and move on to, we won't use that word, and then move on to the next section. These items would be under the category of upcoming events list. That means that they'll show up on the upcoming events list. If you want to describe it, you can, but I'm suggesting that you leave it blank. There's no reason to put a message here because we're only going to be showing the list. If they are interested in that, they can click on it and get the details. So what are the details? Well, they are that link that we just saved. So if I highlight that area, Control V to copy it, I have now the address of the page that I want them to go to if they see it. The next thing I need to do, scroll down to the area that says Add as Event. Click the little switch button. That will turn it on. It will refresh the page. It'll put in what the date is. Click in here. You could use this calendar and just jump to the appropriate date. Put in the time. If you click inside, it'll give you the list of all the possible times, or you can even type in a number. As long as it's in that format, you can even type it in. You need also to put an end date and time, even if it's the same date. The system requires an end date for an event as well. And we are not going to show the end. We are actually going to show the end date because we want to tell people, and you'll see in a moment that they'll know how long the meeting will go. And I don't know how long your meetings go, but I'll just say it's 7 to 9. That's all you have to do to put in the date and time. Then when we scroll and save it, you'll see that it's in your list. So click Save and View, Save and Close rather. And we go back to the news page, scroll down the list, and you see now there is a listing here. That listing is going to be what shows up in the feed for upcoming events that are on MailChimp. This is not the only kind of upcoming event that you may want to put in. For instance, you may want to have people save the date for instance, the upcoming golf event. Maybe you're not ready to have them buy tickets, but you just want them to know that it is a specific date. Perhaps May 1st is the first Saturday of May this year in 2020, so perhaps that's where you want it to go. I'll show you that technique for how to do that. You come over here into the news, click Add Article. May 1 golf outing, save the date. And I want it to be in the list, but I also want it to be a news story. So I'm going to click on chapter because it needs to be either chapter or industry to be listed in the news stories. At this point, a summary is a good idea because it's going to be part of the news stories. Make sure you save the date May 1 first. We'll all get together for our, spelled that wrong, for our annual golf classic. Of course, you write what you would like to do, how you would like to say it. And then down here, you want to put in your details of that article. And you may just repeat the first sentence and then follow up with the venue is and will have lots of prizes, etc., etc., etc. Create your article. Make it an event. Oh, I said May 1st. Let's still call it May 1st. I think it's a Friday event, not a Saturday event. And it starts at 7 a.m. Again, we put in the end date, even though it's the same date. And there's a dinner, and it goes until 9 o'clock. So now we have all of that information in there. And we say, oh, well, just because I'm the one editing it, it has my name on it. But we'll make it Bob's name. This is automatic if Bob is the one that's doing the work of editing or creating this article. If Mickey is creating the article, it would be her name. That's the technique to change the author's name from one person to the other, just so that you know that works in general. And save and close. We now have an article. That article will show up in the news area. Notice there is a special section on the page, not just the article itself with its synopses, but it also shows that it is an event. More importantly, for our purposes today, it shows down here in the upcoming events. And now if you were to send out a new newsletter, you would get both the January 14th and the May 1st listed because those are the two that are in the upcoming events of the total of 4 that is programmed into the feed code that I showed you in the other video. So that's how you put in either an event that somebody can sign up for or an event that somebody just wants to read about. If, by the way, you click on the upcoming event, or if they click on the upcoming event in their newsletter, it will take them back to this page as if they clicked on the May 1st date, and it would load that information right here on the news page, just like any other news article is listed.